Here we are. First time without a hoodie on. First time without damn near a parka on all year. We kind of went from like winter to basically summer in a matter of a day. We're actually out this morning with some clients. They were high maintenance, you know who you are, but we smashed them up pretty good pulling spinners. So I don't like to predetermine what we're gonna do, but we're gonna pull spinners. We got a couple hours here. We just came in, picked up cameraman, and basically we're gonna try to get this done before the storm comes in. That's what we got coming. So hopefully they're biting good. Spinners we're a-pulling. Lake Erie, we are going. Hold on. So I got my new Simms guide pants on here, and I wear them all the time, and apparently all that ice fishing or dealing with all you people has lost me a bunch of weight because they're about ready to fall down. Cameraman says saggy britches. What I say is spinners, Lake Erie Walleyes, that's what we're going to try to do. And if we don't, you're not going to see this, so I'm just going to assume that we're spinnering. Got some night crawlers there. We were out this morning, like I said, and we're trying to beat the storm we got coming here. And we're going to show you a few different things. One thing, big deal, especially since we had guys losing a lot of fish. They made me reel one in to show them how to do it. MMD Shimano Compre. I think it's 8'3". The extra M in there, I use the MDs for crankbaits, but the MMD stands for moderate, that extra M in there, and that it means it's softer. Makes a huge difference in your catching. You want that thing, when you're using that live bait, in my opinion, a little softer. We're going to show you a couple different things too here. So our outside boards, we're going to trigger to release just in case, because I'm by myself doing my own thing. And then we're going to have a firm board set up, which we're going to show you. It's really important. And we've been using some Silver Streak spinners, Colorados. Colors have kind of been all over the place. From day to day, it really seems to change. We're catching fish on a lot of stuff, but there seems to be one smoke show every day. So we're kind of mixing that up. Another big thing that we do there, make sure, we'll show you a little bit here. I'm going to show you how I like to hook them crawlers up, because that really makes a difference. This water is just so clear and the sky is so high. It was much more overcast this morning when we were out here with the boys. And you notice I'm also using my old, some of these are 20-some years old Shimano Dakotas I've trusted forever, because they got a slower gear ratio, because you almost can't go slow enough when those fish start tugging, chugging, and pulling. And here we go. Little rod socks are almost a must. Put all my rods here, that way I got other stuff in the rod locker depending on the time of year. Got a little different weights on this one, so I just put a little tape on there just so I know. It makes a big difference. I can look right there for out of the gate as you hold it and tell which heavier or not. And we're doing something I don't normally do. We're using some heavier sinkers. Normally we've been kind of intending and going slow, trying to get around the 1 mile an hour-ish mark. So that heavier stuff working a little bit better, and just these fish have been so deep, there's less line out, less chance of tangles. I can turn better without setting them on the bottom. But I would tell you, use the lightest you can get away with a lot of times, because there's a lot of days I outfish the boys by using those lighter sinkers. It can really, really make a difference. Another thing is, I would say one of the biggest things with spinners is just watching. We had 2 of the 3 boys there this morning on their phones playing, and we had several fish on the way out, and these boys didn't even pay attention. You really got to watch these things, because you'll either get stripped or miss that bite, or maybe you can feed them, drop it back a little bit. just think of these things as big bobbers. They don't make a difference. I mean, you just really got to pay attention. If you can't pay attention good when you're doing this, maybe you should try crankbaits or maybe spoons or something. Another thing too, getting them by myself, but it doesn't really matter. I really like the rod trees, got Bert's rod trees, so I can spread all this stuff out. Get those rod tips away from each other. And that really helps when it's flat like this, so we can do little turns or just get the separation. Little things like that really add up and get you more fish, they really do. I think that's if you watch a bunch of our videos, I think that's the common denominator. There's just a lot of little things that all add up to making more catching. So here's the trick. There's the head of the crawl, a little darker spot right there. Get pretty close to the head. I don't try to like thread it like a Texas rig, but get pretty close there, like a little meat. Then I've got a treble hook. This is a little number 8 VMC, but regardless, you want to stretch that booty out. Boom, stick it in there. That's gonna go perfectly straight. You don't do that, it's gonna hockey stick, it's gonna tangle up, knot up, it's gonna be bad. We got a fish on, we got a fish on, we got a fish on. We have a fish, 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 fish. Okay, okay. You guys always say I do get excited still. Once I quit that, I'm not gonna wanna do this. Just getting the Beckman ready. They're still here, honey. Whew. So you see that sagging down? We got tail down, we got drags a little loose here. Didn't even get a chance to set my stuff up. The biggest thing is I hear all these people in the comments. I'm not trying to be a wiener, but I might know more than a lot of you watching this. You want to go slow, you really do. You don't want to reel fast. And people are like, real fast, you're gonna lose them. No. So many of these we've had just in the last couple of days just come off right in the net, or maybe before the net. And another thing too is if you're the captain of your boat, you better be paying attention. Like I'm watching these other rods right now because I don't want to get stripped, or it might reel down on one, you know, because obviously I can't do anything more. But this is what we're doing there with one hand. We're doing the look at the counter, taking that board off, and we'll come back to this probably, but I've got these boards hooked up firm. Whoa, 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 whoa. Another big one is follow. Oh, we got a double. We do have a double. See, that's why you got to pay attention. See that? So we're just going to give that a little crank. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Good thing we had two on. Trying to do too many things at once. Oh. This one's pretty nice. This was on the same lead as the other one. So two at the same time. And it's crazy, we'll go through these little pockets like that where you just get them and they're the exact same depth. That's why you really don't want to, like, in my opinion, you don't want to sell out and go and put all your leads at the same thing when you're doing this, because your angle, your speed, all these things change a little bit. It's going to change that depth. But also these fish move up and down in the column. Again, go no farther than this morning when we just racked them up and we made 2 passes. On the second pass, the fish had lifted up quite a bit. And you don't know that if you keep everything at the same ones you're catching them at. So that sounds kind of crazy to do, but you do want to do that. All right. This one feels a little nicer. So again, too much stuff going on here. We got rods all over the dang place. But we want to follow that fish, because that when I took that board off, the fish is actually over there, even though I got way too much stuff in the water here. Is it a good thing or a bad thing when we get 2 on the setup? It's probably good for a camera, right? Here we go. Having to focus because we have way too much going on at once here. It's way too much for one man. You guys probably could blame Country Steve for being too busy, too much working. Here we go. Big Beckman got the 9-foot handle. You wonder why? That's why. All right. So we're gonna throw these all back anyhow, but I'll show you another piece of equipment that is absolutely mandatory when you're doing this is forceps. Don't use those big old giant pliers. Trust me, super mega tip right there. We're gonna let this one go. This is, as we say, the luckiest walleye in Lake Erie. Go tell your mama, Daddy's here with night crawlers. But, oh, guess what? We got one on the other rod here. Line two, line two, line two. Oh my. So while I'm setting this up, I'm gonna talk you through another little thing that we're in clean water. Like you can really see in this. You come in here, you can see we got no boats around us on that's where we've been catching them. Some kind of moved in here. So we've been in the same area for a couple days. But on the graph, it's absolutely blank. And when you get like this, don't be afraid to fish a blank screen because these fish are just skedaddling. When we came across there at speed, you know, we saw them, but you're probably not gonna see a whole lot when you got high skies, really clean water, and fish like this. But what we do have is 2 fish already. Okay. Outside, we did a little turn. This autopilot is not your friend. It's also gonna help us get around these a little bit. We did kind of a hard turn here. Okay, we also just did a little boot scoot and boogie, so we're gonna talk about, assuming I don't screw this up, but even if we do, I'm gonna tell you. So outside boards I rigged to release. Really don't recommend doing that, to be perfectly honest. By myself here today, so we just only so much monkeying we can do, but I've been trying to, you know, trial and error. Before we come out, I just don't spray stuff. I go out and I try it out and see how it works. And just losing a lot of fish with the guys and the spinners when they're rigging the boards to release. Now here by myself, outside board, I'm gonna try it just with that. Oh, we got one on the inside too. Really important to watch all your other stuff when you're reeling. But I would tell you to keep them hooked up. So my front clip, what I mean by that, will not release absolutely under any circumstance. And that's also good when I'm jerking these things around, you know, ripping them real good to move things out of the way. Or another big thing is when you're fishing near bottom. You know, you hang up, that thing is off automatically and you're out of the water. Whoa, this thing is swimming right with me. Okay, we caught up. So, big thing is you're not reeling slow to reel slow. That's one thing with guide clients I'm always trying to kind of impress upon them. You're just reeling so that you aren't ripping the hooks out. A lot of these fish is barely hooked. You see them tugging, bouncing around. That's why that compre with the MMD is really important. Man, that thing's just jumping around like a fart in a jug down there. And then I'm gonna give you another massive, we might as well just call this the spinner master tip deal. So I got that big old Beckman right there. You can see that thing. It's the medium size one. It's almost quite literally a salmon size. And that's really a key deal because I can go down and get them. A lot of these fish, especially when this water is really clean, I'm aggressive. I go down and get them. Again, we're using the forceps there to get that little VMC out. Boom, boom. Take that thing right out. Luckiest walleye in Lake Erie. This ain't the biggest one I caught even today, but that's the nicest one I got right now. So the net deal, big one, 9-foot handle, absolutely want to go get them. But I also use the rubber Beckman here. A little bit smaller hoop. This is kind of the biggest one that they make. A lot more drag on this. You know, you're not going to go down, you're not going to just stick this in the water. This is, if you need a fish to get in, this is not the one I grab because they can bounce out the whole thing. I had a couple buddies that I could tell you a few stories about that, but absolutely when you're by yourself too, I have this and use it daily. because it's just so much nicer to, when you got one that's on the surface and there's no monkeying around, it's just easier to get them in and out often. They don't tend to tangle in there quite as much. So I got another one on the front deck too. We even got all my boys that you've seen on the videos. They're all carrying 3 nets out. B-Team Bob, Captain Chris, which, by the way, have you noticed that we did a salmon video, we did a jigging video, we did an ice fishing video? What kind of videos would you like to see? Comment below, let us know. I'm a poet and I did know it, but doing all kinds of different stuff. We did even a catfish video a year or so ago. We'd like to know what you want to see. Help us help you. Since we're going to blame this on Country Steve because I got to do this by myself, he's like working or something, but we're checking because we had one that went when we were reeling one of the other ones in, and I promise you, one of the worst things you can do is be out there with no meat on. They're not much worse. This one had it, the other one got jacked up. So we're just going to do a little quick bait and switch here. So we just did a little bit of a turn, nothing crazy, just subtle. And I'm going to attempt this. This could end poorly. But the outside there, we are tripping, even though it has not been going well. The batting average on that's not good. But what we are learning right now is the lighter sinkers are doing better. So we probably should get another one of those out. Or put it on the inside or something, because I keep winding this thing around. But I do like to have my heavier stuff on the inside. That's going to be the deeper stuff. And obviously it's kind of common sense, but if you accidentally hang up or checking more, you know, the closer you are to the bottom, the more you're probably going to get junk fish or short bit. These fish are just swimming right with here. And again, head on a swivel if you're fishing with your buddy who doesn't pay attention or he's playing on his phone, because this is when you get other bites. When you're catching, I mean, there ain't just one here. One little Timmy down there? I don't think so. There's definitely more than one. But we definitely got our last couple bites there by doing just a slight, I can't even call it a turn, just a little jog. How about a jog? Autopilot's good for keeping you going into the wind. We're kind of actually, honestly, we're going the wrong way here. The wind just switched when we were starting to set up, and we're going to turn around as soon as we can. Slow and subtle. Slow and steady wins the race. Also following them, not pulling against them. Just violent. God, these things are violent. Holy spicoli. You know, walleyes don't fight hard. You watch our king salmon video, they rip out a couple 100 feet of line. You know, that's fighting. But they have these little moments that they do it, and when they're jerking their head like that, they're going to rip them hooks out. They are. I see it every day. Aggressive reelers. Oh, yeah. Got a little chunky Timmy here. Chunker. Oh, look at that. Came out in the net. See what I'm talking about? That's clean living, but that's also almost a bad situation there. So again, not the biggest walleye we've caught even today, but a really nice one. And subtle turn and the high line there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this one on the inside. We're just gonna let these kind of pin out a little bit, switch them. Got the birch trees here, give us lots of nice separation. We don't have any budget, but we play like keep them separated. Anybody young enough or old enough to remember that? I don't know. perfect craziness here. Did another little turn. This was on the slow side this time. It had been the fast side, kind of lifting them up. But this was probably putting that bait on the bottom. And I was over here just checking one. Feels a little aggressive. This is gonna be one of those I have to talk to myself. Slow down, slow down, slow, slow. Just like when I'm fishing with you guys. And you'll know, I mean, it's not uncommon to have a lot of fish on one side of the boat. So here's a really big tip. We did not even get the fish hawk down, even though I feel like I got a good handle of what's going on. I would advise, if you guys were here today, you should. But the speed is gonna be different on each side of the boat because we got a current here, we got a wind, we're going the opposite way. And sometimes you're just gonna catch a lot of your fish on one side of the boat. There's nothing that can be done except for changing the leads significantly, because if you know if it's the faster or slower side, in order to, because these are weights, in order to get the stuff down, sometimes you have to lengthen or shorten the lead to be equivalent to the same. So 30 feet on each side of the boat is not the same depth. And a lot of times that's why you're not getting bit. I'm also, you head on a swivel, head on a swivel. You gotta be a little bit crazy when you're doing this, because you wanna see, make sure you don't miss any other ones. Or so, like I said, I'll just reel down on some of these. Some of them aren't gonna come off if you don't have an extra reeler. Do we bust on Country Steve enough? Do you guys, do you miss Country Steve? Yeah, B-Team and Chris, yeah, those, B-Team's got some stuff to take care of. Chris has been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff with us. We're starting to get a little pattern here with our leads. Ooh. Man, swimming right with. Some of these fish just, ooh, see, and then they do that. And then that's when you lose them. Da, 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 da. They're like little little piranhas. That sound effect is free. You can't pay for that. Boom, 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 boom. Don't be afraid to pull a little line out. But that's why we like to follow him around, because you see that fish is coming the other side of the boat. So instead of pulling him underneath the boat, we're going right out the back, which is what you want to do, because we ain't got no lines there to get hung up in. See? See, a lot of these guys always trying to net them. They're in the motors and all that stuff. That's no good. Always got some extra Burt's holders in the boat, of course, so we can just boom, boom out of the way. This is not as easy as it looks, I'm just saying. You know, what could go wrong with a 9-foot handle, an 8.5 foot or 8 foot 3-inch rod? Like, what could be wrong? It is kind of crazy though. Our size from this morning is gone down, at least in the last, you know, we haven't been fishing very long and won't be today, but from this morning, I don't know if this east wind we've got. You know, it's the luckiest walleye in Lake Erie. That east wind kind of pushing a lot of these fish down. I'm probably, before we shut this down, gonna get a bottom bouncer down there, because I just feel like we're seeing 0 on the screen, and I'm feeling like that could be the deal. Oh, we got one on the middle. We got one on the middle over here. That's our deepest rod. How exciting, how exciting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna attempt a little maneuver here. I'm going to actually clicker the inside board out, and I'm gonna try to do like a Top Gun maneuver. We're gonna let that float right behind, and we're gonna bring this one around. It doesn't always work, it can be ugly, but we're gonna try it. So you see what we did there? We're gonna just make that, what was the inside one, the middle, and we're gonna try to come right around this thing. This one now, of course, is acting a fool, but we're still gonna try. This is gonna be dangerous. You guys may get to see a real snafu here, but we're gonna do it anyhow. So one thing I will tell you, you know, when you're with like the guys that work with me, they can tell you like, hey, A lot of them can even tell you what color's on the rod, like this one right here, but I know that this was our deepest rod. It's really important information to do, especially if somebody's cranking like this, and you know, then I'm over here busy in a normal day, I'm setting other rods, and I can get, you know, when we get 1 or 2 bites in that same location, I may stack another one, or at least get something back out at that same depth. It's really important to pay attention. Most of the guys that don't do good or aren't consistent, they aren't paying attention or seeing what's going on. So another big thing to do, I got the Humminbird Explorers. We're gonna put some videos out with that stuff, just trying to get a little more comfortable with them. Whole new deal after using helixes for about 15 years or so. Hit a waypoint. Hit a waypoint. Know where you're catching them. You get this big old long track line and then you don't know. You'd be amazed at how many times these fish, the biters, are in the same little areas. So, and yes, we're reeling slow. This one feels a little better. Definitely our deepest line. Kind of like, oh, I might have grabbed that other one. Either I grabbed the other one or I got one on it. I think we just have a double. I'm very nervous right now. I've done this a few times, but I'm very nervous. There's a lot going on here. We have a double, folks, I'm pretty sure. I don't want to spit into the wind, but we got around that one, and this is another really good example of efficiency. Instead of moving that out or getting tangled, we were able to get around it, and now we got a fish on the other one too. So, this fish just went from absolutely thugging and tugging to, like he's doing right now, to doing nothing. And that's the deal. This is huge, 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 huge deal when you're doing this, is to pay attention, because they will swim completely with you, okay? Oh, almost losing everything. I've got the net, we've got the other net, we've got the other rod. But I'm going a little crazy. We got hooks all over the place. A little chunkier one right there. We don't have all our lines in the water. We're catching. Catching is good. But finishing that little thought, because you know I'm a little crazy, ADD, ODD, ACC, ABC. You got to pace your reeling. You're not reeling slow just to reel slow. I'm gonna turn around if you want to get my center thing there. That little splash, that's that walleye going right down. And you notice he went off to the side and how you barely saw him, because in this clean water, first thing he did is go out away from the boat. We only got to see him for a second or two. But back to a super, super important part is the reeling. Like, you're reeling slow so you don't rip the hooks out, but when they start swimming with you like that one did, you've got to go a little bit quicker. All we're just trying to do is keep it taut, keep some tension on there. And then when they start thugging, tugging, chugging, slow up. So we got the Minn Kota remote. Any videos you've ever seen, we always got this pretty close by. We're gonna do a little turn. As soon as we kind of got set up, the window was switching, 5 minutes difference, I would have never even been going this way. I'm honestly surprised we were catching them going into it like this, but we're gonna spin it around, see what happens. But we're just gonna kind of walk them around slow, because again, you don't wanna set these things on bottom. One side of the boat's gonna go down, we got lead. So walk it slow. Walk it, talk it, walk it. Ooh, turns. It's gonna be a little bit of a dumpster fire here. But, so we did a turn, and this one was basically on the bottom. And we pulled a rod here, and we've got a bottom bounce on the other side, because I see these fish, they are down dirty. And so we're gonna put some lead in them. This one hit right when we were setting her down. We're gonna try to swing this one around again. Just slight turns, not crazy. We were doing a turn because I'm trying to get going back the other way. We're trying to beat the storm here. But just barely, just making little modifications to your path. Don't go in a straight line. Straight is a bad deal. A little jogging, just something, just change the stuff. Think about if you're like fishing a spinnerbait for those dirty ditch pickle bass. You know, you pump, you change the speed, you do just a little something, something. And same thing with this. This one went right down to the bottom. Another thing too, so we're gonna follow this around. So this fish is actually already over here. Kind of hard to do by myself, but so we're gonna go where he goes. Just don't pull against him. It's just like picking up an anchor. I don't let the client stand on the back deck. I feel like I'd have to call my lawyer with half you guys. Basically, I'm saying you're not in good shape, most of you guys. So yeah, woo! You see where that rubber net there, you can bounce them things right out. But, whoo-wee! That tiny little treble hook in there always helps out, but we got the number one, got the main hook in them. Luckiest walleye in Lake Erie. But even though that's a good eater, but those things all tell us, they're telling us a story. These fish are down, that's why I put the bottom bouncer down even before I saw that. But, you know, just because you're not marking them on the 2D doesn't mean there aren't some up, you know, skedaddling from the boat. Honestly, probably should have the Mega Live down right now to see where some of those fish are at before they're scooting from the boat. That's another really good trick. You know, see where those things are at, because they can't hide from the Mega Live shooting 100 feet ahead. You're just not seeing them when they're directly underneath the boat. Old bottom bouncer, not letting me down. You know, it's funny that they call it a bottom bouncer, but yet you don't want it on bottom. And you see I'm bringing this over because I want to follow it. I don't want to try to pull that thing underneath the boat, get around the motors and all that other stuff. And no extra pressure, that's the big thing, just no extra pressure on that thing. Make sure if you got a bottom bouncer ride like this, oh, we got inside board over here too. Just reel down a little bit on them, that helps out because we have 3 on right now. And just me. But really soft rods. This one was actually one of the prototypes. That's that yellow tape up there that I had for the for the Compre, that MMD. And I'm just here to tell you, you will get way more fish with a softer rod there, and just let that thing double over. A lot of times you just can't get on them until it stops bobbing. Because if it's not bobbing, they are robbing. I don't know if these are, you know, this water's just getting up there. Our surface temp went up like 10 degrees, like quick. I mean, it's a nice fish, but he's very upset. This is, if ginger was a fish, E-I-E-I-O, here to be. We got fish on everything. My God, this thing's got lead underwear. But again, you know, how do we get here? We're just, all you guys are seeing is catching and me doing some talking videos, points and all that good stuff. But all these little things matter, but it all starts with, you see we got nobody here. It starts with marking those fish at speed, or when you're fishing, as the Al Linder would say, throw that back right there. That's a good sandwich, but we're gonna let her swim for another day. This all starts with the hummingbird and seeing these things at speed, or putting the Mega Live ahead. You wanna see where that one went down? Here's a good example over here. If we get in tight, that's that fish. You can see getting a little bigger as he's getting below the cone. And I think this might be my last one. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know how many walleyes we caught today between round 1 and now, but it's a lot. And I feel like I deserve the other half of my burger that's still in the worm cooler. Ooh, and it feels nice. I feel like I'm gonna eat that on shore. Look at that thing, oh boy. Oh boy. Somebody's upset. Now he's swimming right with, you know, it's like he was really thumping there. Don't do anything. Just keep it tight. Let him beat his head against the cement wall. First guy to make a move usually loses. Wrapped up in the dang clip. Holy spicoli. Hold the line. Still got him. This is a little bit of a dumpster fire. It's a little bit. I got to be honest though, if we had one of the knuckleheads with me, I feel like it would be even more of a dumpster fire. You know why? Because poor communication. A lot of my boys, they don't communicate good in the boat. That's why I'm their water wife. Good communication. This thing is really, I almost wanted to use it was the C word, and I don't mean like 4 letters, I mean like catfish, but it's not. I just think it's a really good one. This one, if this is a really good one, I'm definitely going home. Oh, it's a walleye. I see the white of his tail. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta. Oh, I got him. We're done. So it's my last rod here. I'm definitely done. If you look at the boat, it's an absolute dumpster fire of all the, both worm bedding. We have rods everywhere. They're everywhere. They're just laying. We've been catching. But it's not just putting your stuff behind the boat and going. Any of you guys that have done this enough know that. It's a lot of little things. Hopefully some of these tips and tricks kind of help you get dialed in with that. And then even the little things. I think the reeling is one of the biggest. I don't know how many fish my guys have lost here in the last 3 or 4 days. We've had some rooks mixed in there, and that, it really matters. If you hook 50 fish and you only get 25 of them in, I mean 50% is only good with horseshoes, hand grenades, and maybe like if you're trying to get into Cooperstown, like if you're a baseball player, you're hitting 500, you're pretty good. Walleye fishing, you suck. You might want to take up something else. But I feel like, have I earned going home now? Oh, ice cream, Toft's Dairy for all my locals. Toft's, shameless plug for them. Dude, we're just jacking them. But again, little things, swung back around, went with the flow. I said it, when we made that turn, we had a triple. I told you when we turned around. Oh, good God, that thing getting naughty. Okay, you probably can't see that down in the water. He's just head shaking, violent, and then stopping. You guys that are reeling through that, that's when you're losing them right there. See that boom, boom? Oh no, we got that Shimano Compre MMD. It's taking that up that shock. Ooh, that's another nicer one too right there. Come get you some. It's crazy how some of these bigger fish just wake up. You know, we're in the same area just going the other way. I don't think it's a direction thing as much as it is just a timing thing, but oh, little chunky monkey right here. Look at that. We're gonna get him in here, make sure he's okay, because, I mean, this is a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. I love the dumpster fires though. We're gonna reel this right. We're gonna do everything you're not supposed to do to finish this. Look at this boat. There's just rods everywhere. And this is a good one too. This is a good one. This is the 4th fish that was gonna be our closer. Maybe our 5th. Oh, net number 2 is coming up. Get my remote out of the way. I don't want to spot lock here. Love spot lock, just not right now. So I'm trying to kind of come up this way because I want to straighten this thing out. This fish is not, he's swimming right with me. And there's so much pressure, I don't want to put extra pressure, but I want to try to get him in line so when he goes slack and starts swimming with me, this is a huge deal for not losing him. And we got so much stuff over the boat. You know, filming this is not easy. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not asking for any tissues, but oh yeah, here we go. We're going on the back deck. Now he's just swimming right with me, but this is just about, there he goes. There you go. These things are as predictable as a 2-year-old in a candy store, I'm just telling you. So when you get rocked to sleep by them, that's on you. That's on you. Another one, a little better size. I don't care what happens. We got no rods, like we got one left. I'm done. I'm going home. Seriously, I said it 3 fish ago. If you guys didn't learn anything today, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to see something different, let us know. If you see somebody being a ding dong in the comments, let them know what a ding dong they are. And if somebody does that and it's reasonable, I'll probably will give you some type of prize. We're into rewarding. Other than that, stick with us. We're going to be doing a bunch of other stuff. We're going to do some more salmon fishing this year. We're going to do probably our down east deep water deal again at some point. But we got an awful lot of fishing to do before any of that happens. So make sure you subscribe, stay tuned, watch all our stuff. It helps out, helps the algorithms there. Just like that fish going away. We appreciate you. You guys keep this turning. The more you watch, the more we can do. It is what it is. Share it away.